Welcome to Peaked. My name's Frank Castillo. This is my co-host.
JP Noda?
Yeah, I didn't forget his name.
Yeah, it's the first time I ever had to do that.
Really? It's first
like
time?
16 episodes.
Oh, okay. Well, let's do it again. Hey, my name's Frank Castillo, and this is my co-host.
JP Noda.
Hey, today's guest is...
Mike Glazer.
Hey, I don't like to work. No,
Yeah.
It's good to have everyone here. How you feeling?
Chilling, man.
Fuck
Sorry,
yeah.
my bad.
Good to have you, Mike.
So happy to be here.
Good.
Feel good. It feels weird to say your own name, not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's a little strange.
Yeah, like you say it with such confidence, and I feel
Frank?
like both of us kind of like...
They're like,
What a surprise. Frank likes to say his own name with a lot of confidence. My wife's like, God damn it. This fucking piece of shit. All right, welcome to the show. We will start off with some sweet rosin, but first, we usually like to start off with an edible. You don't have to take the full one. We have Punch Extracts peanut butter malt bowls. They're 10 milligrams each. I usually do all of them. I'll do all of them. You don't have to do all of them. You can take as much as you want. My producer is very upset at the way I'm doing this right now. Yeah, so here we go.
Bink.
Thanks.
I'm going to do all of them.
When you say all of them, do you mean the sleeve?
Yeah.
Fucking right, man.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I'm in the sleeve.
They're 10 each.
They're 10 each?
Yeah.
So I'll hit it with a 5 because I'm like crazy sensitive for edibles, and I want to have a good time, not be in my head the whole time.
No, for sure. I feel that. Definitely want people to enjoy
As Frank
their weed.
eats 40.
This is delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Punch.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm sorry. I'm like holding
So
them
goddamn
already. You
No,
good?
they're yours, bro.
Oh, no,
That's
those are all for you.
For
Take
real?
those home, bro.
Yo, I got an Airbnb for the night to get the fuck out of my apartment, and because I just got some work to do. So yeah, like
Hell yeah.
these are gonna go down the fucking hatch as soon as I get to this
dude.
stranger's home.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So I fucked up. And so when I go out and I have multiple spots, I'll take like one or two. I fucked up. I went to one of my first spots. First spot was at 7:30. My last spot was at 11:30. So I got there to the 7:30 show. I ended up not going until like the fourth person. So it was like 30 to 40 minutes until I had to go up. And I cracked open that, and I was like, I'll take one or two. And then by the time I'm supposed to go up, I fucking finished the whole sleeve. And then I was like, oh, this is bad. So I'm on stage, already starting to feel high. I get to the store for my set, and I'm already fucking blasted in the parking lot. And then I went up at 11:30 at night, fucking wrecked. Still a good set.
Fucking right.
Yeah.
What's your sweet spot for like getting high to being on stage?
If it's late night sets, I like going up absolutely blasted because it's like, fuck it, it's late night. You guys are all drunk. I'm also fucked up. So let's have some fun. Yeah. If it's an early set, I like to be a little stoned. I don't like to be crazy blasted because it's like, still playing first base. I still got to set the show up, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But if I'm just doing show to show, like if I have a string of shows and it's just a bunch of spots like in the middle of the show, I like going there pretty like just lit because I know my 15 and my 20-minute set right now that I'm doing like to a T.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm just ready.
That's awesome. And then it's real fun too when you have that 15 to 20 that any crowd work that happens, like right back where you can like set it up and it'll feel natural and it's like all fucking swimming at the same time.
Yeah. Once you're like in that rhythm of like, oh, I've done this 15 or this 20-minute set like 30 times, 40 times, like just in a month, like you're just fucking ready to go.
Yeah, man. I got a compliment 2 days ago at a show. It was the best compliment I've ever gotten. They'll never know it. But they said it was a 10-minute spot. And all they said was how much of that was improvised. And I was like, fucking none of it, dude. Like almost none of it.
Yeah,
but that feels really cool.
Yeah, because it gets to the point where it's so conversational.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, oh, okay. I had someone came up to me and they're like, you're getting to the point where you're so conversational now. Right. You're so conversational now. And I'm like, that's fucking, yeah. Where it's like, they can't tell that you're, it just looks like you're bringing it up and just fucking firing off. That's the great part.
That's awesome.
It's no longer like, oh, I hope I can fill this time. It's like, all right, well, this is my 15 minutes. Like, what am I gonna show you guys in this next 15 minutes?
Yeah. It'll make it memorable for everyone too.
Let's fucking fire this up, dog.
Cheers, y'all.
Boom. It's for you, brother.
For real?
Oops,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm
You've
sorry,
done
I think
this,
it was
right?
off, yeah.
Peaks?
Yeah.
Love a peak.
Oh,
Let's get
Shout
you
out
on the
Roger.
lower set.
yeah.
This is the new.
If you want to hit it one more time to get on the lower temp, it might hit. There
One
you go.
more
There you go.
time.
This is
And
a
then
new.
double tap. Yeah.
Would you say double tap
Double
now?
tap, yeah.
Okay.
You'll feel it vibrate, and then it'll vibrate again when it's ready.
I love this.
Yeah. No, the new ones are so dope. They come with like an app and everything too, where you can like change the color wave and control like the.
Can I shout out the new hot knife too?
Yeah.
That new hot knife is fire.
Looks gnarly.
Yeah.
Definitely wanna check it out.
I drive around with these. Like when
No, you don't. Frank does not drive his car.
I mean, I do not drive around with these. This is not. It is absolutely not in my.
It is illegal.
Yeah, it is
Do
not
not
in
do
my
that.
cup holder every time. I just happen to have this whenever I go do shows, and yeah, no, it is like it's in like.
Do you want me to wait?
You're good to go. Yeah. And as much as you want, like I said, it'll keep going. So I mean, it's one of those things that whatever you'd like.
Now
to
it's
go
to the point where like people that take pictures at shows are like, Are you gonna bring your PUFFCO? Are you gonna wear like your weed shit? I want to take a picture of you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. Like you'll look over and somebody's holding a Big Mac, and then they look at you, and you're just holding your peak. It's just
Well,
like
I've walked around with it, and I've had people be like, "Yeah, that's the PUFFCO," and I'm like, "Yeah, there's a stoner."
yeah, oil day was bananas. Like I'm just gonna like geek out a little bit because I love this thing. Sorry, it's yours
all
to
you,
hit.
No,
We cleaned it for you for the
But
show.
like
that's you.
on 710, being at like a bunch of different parties in LA and seeing everyone carry around theirs to like really understand the impact on the culture is pretty remarkable to see like firsthand in person at like a fest or especially on
Yeah.
like 710.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
It literally-
yeah, go ahead.
It literally lives in my side bag, like without water in it, and like you can be at a bar in West Hollywood and like pull it out and pop right back in without any issues.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna.
I see you at the Abbey just
Yeah,
jumping
it's-
up and down. That's
Well, it's got like a ghost mode where you can turn like the top lights off,
Yeah.
so literally just the back lights up, and so it's even more like
Or you could turn it
inconspicuous.
disco mode where it all lights up and you're just fucking
It's a flex mode.
holding above it, you and just vibing.
Hell yeah. In my Kia Sorrento, just fucking vibing out.
RGB coming out.
Has anyone have so like I know you perform at the Improv or anything? Has the talent coordinator or anyone ever seen you? Like, have you been caught smoking weed at work?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we doing? you know, like, oh man, the wildest one was like when I was in high school. I worked at the mall, and I got fired from Spencer Gifts for being super high and stealing eye patches because like I wanted to flip them for some slippers that somebody had at a kiosk. And it was so dumb, but so worth it getting those slippers for some eye patches that this dude wanted for who knows
Whatever.
what. Yeah, none of my business. Yeah, smoke weed every day before any work, any day, you know? Yeah.
That's great.
And now that we get to do things like this where it's work and it's like really rad to do.
Yeah.
But if it ain't broke,
No.
you know?
Especially, did the Improv trip a lot when you were working there? Are you still working there? Or
No, I left when I got a couple writing gigs.
Yeah.
Like through
Yeah.
like networking there.
Yeah.
They never really tripped on any of it, especially once they started seeing my comedy. And I'm talking about being high right now and trying to live up to that name. I think that the only time that it didn't work out was I was running food once in the kitchen. Dude, it gets so confusing because you got to look at a ticket and hold food and find the people.
Yeah, and
like,
the number
in the dark.
and the seat table.
it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of numbers, dog. Eighths and quarters, bro.
You just want to yell like, "Whose nachos are these?" and hope someone knows.
They get upset if you're fucking what's it called auctioning it off, as they call it.
Yeah.
I remember, I would have to run food occasionally at the store, and I fucking hated it because I was good at it. Because I used to work at a restaurant, so once there's a lot of jobs at the store that I would not let them know that I was good at because I didn't want to do extra shit. Like I didn't want to I was a good employee, but I want to be the best employee there because then they start relying on you more, and then it's kind of like, well, fuck, I'm here for comedy, not fucking chicken tenders.
Exactly. I think that's how I feel like, especially at places like this store, where everyone who works there is like a comic who is working really hard to be great. Like how hard was it to distinguish yourself as a comedian versus somebody who works at the raddest comedy place in the world?
There is definitely a part of it where there gets to a moment where it's called, someone described it as the stripper syndrome, where the money's so good and the environment's just so dope that it's like you can't leave, So there is like a period, there's a sweet spot where it's like you get there, you get noticed as a door guy, and then you get past, and then you get the fuck out. because you don't want to get to the point where people are like, oh, that's the guy that works here. You know what I mean? Where
He's super funny.
Yeah, but he also like, he's the door guy. You don't want to be like the guy that always is thought of as like a door guy. Like there's still times where people are like, oh, you don't work here anymore? I'm like, no, I quit like years ago. And they're like, oh shit. Or you'll have people who were like, oh, I didn't know you worked here. Or like, I just thought you were a comic this whole time. Or I just always thought of you as a paid regular, blah, blah. Those are like dope people where you're like, fucking sweet. But there is definitely like, I've had a few headliners like near the end of my career sit me down and be like, hey man, you gotta quit. Cause like everyone's just gonna think of you as this one thing and you don't wanna be that, blah, blah. Like you wanna be like on to the next thing. And I was like, you're right. Totally. But also I don't have millions of dollars, so you know.
Yeah. This isn't my story to tell, but I'll fucking tell it because he's not here. You can listen to Adam Devine, I think, talk about it maybe on Santino's podcast. I'm not sure, but Devine was working at the Hollywood Improv as a door guy, and he got Just for Laughs. And he flew, crushed it, came back, and one of the talent agents or somebody saw him at the door and said, what are you doing? Didn't I just see you crush it Just for Laughs? And he's like, yeah, but I need to work. And he was like, go work anywhere else except here because you just crushed and now I'm seeing you as this other thing. Like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. And he just like quit that day.
Yeah.
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 It's crazy. Yeah. So Adam, you're probably watching and listening. You would probably tell it better. You would tell it better for sure.
If Adam's watching and listening, then man, that algorithm's working.
That's awesome.
That's a very true thing. I had kind of the opposite thing happen to me. It was when Roast Battle was the finals of the night. I couldn't get my last shift covered, so I had to change the marquee for the next night because that's like the job of the back door. And so the next day I was doing the finals, but I was still having to like change the marquee. So someone took a picture of me changing the marquee, and across the street is like my name and like someone else's versus the finals. Wow. So they were just kind of like, that sucks. And I was like, yeah, it does.
Wow. Yeah. But then you won, right?
Yeah.
So motherfucking fuck y'all.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah. And then I quit for like 8 months and then had to go back. But you gotta make money, But look at us now, we're here.
Yeah, I worked in reality TV. It was like my first job here.
How much did you hate that?
So the reason, like, talk about money and like getting to a place, I started as a PA, then associate story producer, and then was working towards story producer. And like the money is tight. There's tons of overtime. You're kind of crafting the story. It's a lot of crowd work essentially to get people to say what you want on camera. And it got to the point where I was like not doing spots, making money, paying rent. And I like lost my way fucking completely. Yeah. And that's when I went to the Improv, and shout out, I always talk about it, homie Matt Apodaca was working as a box office guy there. And he was like, what are you doing? I was like, I just need to get out of reality TV because I like have lost my way completely in Los Angeles. Yeah. And he got me a job at the Improv so that I could go back to minimum wage or whatever it was, but at least be around comedy again.
Some people think of it as like taking a step back or like this weird fear of like, I've made such a comfortable living in this other thing, and then but I really still want to do stand up, and then you see people like just empty on stage.
Yeah.
Or you're just like, it was like, oh, I know you're not happy. You know what I mean? But it's this weird thing of like people just don't like struggling, and I get that struggling fucking sucks. But it's also like prioritizing happiness. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of comics I know who have writing jobs that are friends of mine. And all I know is they just want to do stand up. They just want to tour. They just want to do all that. And then it's like, yeah, but now they got Yeezys and a dope apartment. But they're like super not happy.
Yeah. The other side of it though is like, I remember looking at my toothbrush and the bristles were all flat and out because I was like, everything was aggressive because I was mad all the fucking time. It's like, yo, you gotta get a hold of that shit, Like,
no, 100%. That is very funny because, like, me and my wife go this conversation all the time where I'll just be like, I'm fucking upset about everything. Like, nothing's going right. Everything sucks. And she's just like, do you still work at the store? I'm like, no. And she's like, do you work at Starbucks? And I'm like, no. And she's like, sounds like everything's going pretty fucking great, right? And I go, yeah, you're right. She's like, what'd you do yesterday? Did you smoke weed all day and watch Netflix and hang out with your fucking cats? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, shut the fuck up. Go do your dumb jokes. I'm like, okay.
Man, what's her name?
I don't know. I should probably learn it.
Yeah.
No. Hannah. My wife's name is Hannah. I can't talk about her job or where exactly specifically her job, but she works at the NSA. No. She's a psychologist. Yeah.
So this is CIA backed?
No, I was just kidding about this. Yeah, she's a psychologist. She works as a therapist and stuff.
Bet.
Yeah. So she's like better than me in all fronts.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's a good balance.
It's important.
Jesus. Do you know her?
Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes
They both pick
makes
on me.
the best cookies.
She really does.
They
actually.
take 24 hours to make. She has to like start them the day before.
What is this, barbecue cookies?
It's
What are you
fucking-
talking about?
Yeah. What do they call? So they're salted caramel cookies, I think. So the dough she makes the day before, and you have to like let it rest or some shit, and it's also like something to do with the sugar.
It's delicious.
like brown sugar. Yeah, they're fucking amazing.
Fucking yo.
Yeah, he's specifically been like, I will do this favor for you guys, but I want these cookies. So like she's had to go out.
They're like leverage cookies.
Oh, they're like
They're that good.
it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
It's a whole bro. My wife's cookies. My wife fuck cook, dog. She's great at baking. She's like, yeah. That's the only reason I'm still with her.
Yeah.
Aside from the fact that I love her a lot, but yeah. All right, people don't think I dislike my wife, do they? Like that is very like it's a clear thing that I love my wife Hannah. Yeah.
I know you do because you do it.
Yeah. Let me make this clear. If she leaves me, I'm gonna be a wreck, and I will have nothing, and I'll probably be sleeping on someone's couch. You know what I mean? Like I'll definitely lose at least 30 minutes of my material. You know what I mean? Like it is. This relationship has to succeed. I love you. Round one. What is this first one we're smoking on?
Boom. So this one's going to be the animal mints. It's going to be a cross of a Thin Mint cookies and Fire OG. It's going to have a lot of that classic kind of cookies flavor up front, and then have a bunch of like pine OG kind of gas on the end. So like I said, you should have more of that very like plant material, almost like grassy taste on the front from that Girl Scout cookies. And then that Fire OG should really kind of take the cake.
Yo, you nailed it.
Thanks, man.
Damn.
By the way, I think that is the first time we've ever had a guest be like, "You're right, JP." Usually guests are like, "Oh shit, okay," or "Oh wow, that's crazy," or "Holy shit." And you're like, "Yeah, that tracks."
Yeah. That's fucking spot on. Pot on.
You've been a big stoner, right?
Since like 14.
Have any comics ever given you advice about like smoking weed in comedy?
The unfunny ones.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I've had so many comics come up to me and be like, "Hey man, you should like ease up," or like, maybe, stroke down or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, "All right, man." And then like I did it for a few years and I was just like, weird. It's not like, just, I could tell my comedy wasn't, how it should be. And now I'm just much more comfortable in myself. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. Maybe that guy just didn't know what the fuck he was talking about.
Totally. And I do think that is like the ultimate underneath goal of stand-up for me, is to just figure out who the fuck I am.
Yeah.
And like, weed saved me from myself for a very, very long time, So to combine them together and just like see what makes me tick is kind of
What's your nice balance? Like, do you like going on stage stoned? Do you like writing stoned?
I love like about a half hour to 45 minutes before a set, getting real high and then talking with people to like not stay in my head, and then it'll taper off to like right around that like 35% stoned, which is the sweet spot for me to go on stage. And then I can like get in a pocket. And then, but the tricky thing, and I don't know if you find this too, anything longer than like a 10 to 15 minute set, I want to take an intermission to like go re-up my life and then come back. Cause I'm going to do 45 minutes in, I don't know when this is coming out, so eventually. But like I'm already planning when I'm going to get high during that 45 minutes.
For me, I've always wanted to be able to smoke weed on stage.
Yeah.
And I think, because I get that too, is like the longer the set, the more I'm like, oh, I'm going to forget these bits. I know it. And I already forget shit as it is because I'm so like in the moment when like I would need either all of it written down on paper to where only I could see it. But also, like, I would love to get like a teleprompter that's just behind everybody that just crosses big words out as I go down the list. Like, that would literally just help me. Where if it was just like weed, fucking your wife, like, you know what I mean? Like dog shit, you know what I mean? Like, just big word, and then I'd be like, oh, okay, I remember that. And then like, that's how I would be able to get through it.
You're going to be selling out arenas like Madison Square Garden, and the Jumbotron is just going to say fucking my wife.
People are going to be like, what's that part? Like, he's really high. Oh my God. That's great.
Mike,
Yeah.
Who are 4 celebrities you'd want to staff on your kitchen staff?
4 celebs on a kitchen staff?
Yeah, if you were the head chef.
This is whether or not you know they could cook.
So, number 1, in the weed cannabis comedy game, her name is Chef Nikki. She is Dave Chappelle's
I've
chef.
seen her, follow her Instagram.
Yeah. I want to cook, smoke, and hang with her so bad. So she's number 1 in my kitchen. Shout out Chef Nikki. I want to hang out with Masaharu Morimoto quite badly. He's an Iron Chef from back in the day, and he's just like a happy guy who's probably the best cook on the planet. Jose Andres would be in my kitchen. There's too many chefs in this kitchen, I'm aware of it. But like Jose Andres, because he's changing the world and trying to end global homelessness. So I would like to hang out with him in the kitchen. And the last one would probably be Mary Jane Gibson, my co-host for Weed and Grub, my podcast. She cooked on an Alaskan fishing boat for 4 summers, just fucking rocking back and forth, filleting salmon with a knife, you know? And she's a dope fucking cook, and she's like, yeah, ride or die. So that's my 4.
Oh, damn.
Sick.
Yeah. Dude, I blanked out. That's crazy.
That's great.
Like to go straight into it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, bro.
Mine
would
would
be
be Action Bronson.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
Right? And then the late, great DMX, because I feel like he knows how to cook. You know what I mean?
What roles he got in your kitchen?
What roles he
Is
got?
he like your line cook? Is he your Garmin J?
Yeah, no, he's not Expo Dog. He's definitely got like that. I'm putting desserts. God, I feel this, and this is how I know I'm probably a little bit racist. I feel like a black rapper, any black rapper would be great at desserts.
Sorry, I'm interrupting because I don't understand.
Because I just, you know what I mean? Like,
No, we don't know what you mean, Frank. That's all we're
black people
asking.
love sweets, dog. You know what I mean? Because they sweet as hell, dog. You know what I mean? They always rap about like ice cream and ice and like all the sweet things. So, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ice cream man.
Who someone from the South,
man.
a rapper. I feel like T.I. would be really good at working, making good desserts.
Stop while you're behind.
Are we cutting this clip? And then I'd make a Peruvian guy be. No, I'm just kidding. Definitely T.I. Who else? Oh, have you heard of Weed and Wagyu?
Mm-hmm. What is that?
He's this guy. Is all joking aside, Weed and Wagyu is this he's not an influencer. He's a chef that's like pretty big on Instagram, but he cooks for a lot of rappers and stuff. But his name's Weed and Wagyu, and he like cooks fucking amazing. He made this fucking bacon that I had that was like it was me and my wife talk about this bacon to this day.
Damn.
He like fuck, I can't even remember. I think he like baked it and then he covered it in sugar and then he fucking cooked it in the pan, and it had this crazy hard, just candy shell, and it was just fucking so good.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That dude's like the beef plug. Like he can get like the craziest.
He really
like,
is the
Wagyu
beef
and
plug.
yeah, bro,
I've seen him trade Wagyu for fucking like eighths of really great weed. Like it's like it's pretty. It's his Instagram is literally just him flossing with weed and tons of Wagyu. It's pretty great.
Hell yes. I've never had Wagyu, so I can only, like, if I'm going to try it, I need to connect with the beef plug.
Let me tell you, my friend,
Yeah?
it is a life-changing experience.
Imagine a cop pulling you over and you open up your trunk and it's just full of Wagyu and you're just like, what is all this?
You just see the
Wagyu,
certificates.
baby? Yeah. The steak, baby.
Oh, man. Wait, are you asking another question? Does anyone ask you these questions?
No.
I just ask him.
Don't you want to answer this? You're talking about Grand Marseille. I think you've worked in restaurants.
I just like food.
Okay.
I enjoy eating, but I think that's what connects me like to weed so much is like my family's all chefs, and so like I think that's how I get a lot of these notes out of weed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have a good tongue.
Thanks, Mike.
You're not going to answer it for real?
Yeah, for real.
All right.
That's hilarious. It's always so funny to see like the guests were just like, so this is how you do the show? To see what each guest is like finds odd about the show. Yeah. Like Matt was just like, wait, were you asking us questions? Like that was our previous guest. He's blown away that we were asking him questions.
I knew there was questions coming. I just like thought that you had 2 cents.
I'm the weed guy, bro.
Word. Penn and Teller of cannabis.
There you go. The Ninja Turtles versus the Power Rangers.
Vape pen and what?
It said it's the Ninja Turtles versus the Power Rangers in a American Ninja Warrior style relay. Who Who's winning?
So they're not competing against each other; they're competing against themselves across an obstacle course.
2 teams in a relay race, so they're on the same team. So like all the Ninja
competing
Turtles
against each other, but the
versus
teams
all
are.
the Power Rangers.
And it's on an American Ninja Warrior course.
Yeah, and it's a relay.
Power Rangers all day.
Really? I think
All
Ninja
day.
Turtles.
What are you talking about? Why?
Yeah. I just feel like mutants would kill an obstacle course.
I see
They're
that.
ninjas. It is.
Although, now that I think about it, their shells might give them trouble depending on what the obstacle course is.
I think they're a clunky bunch.
They are a clunky bunch. They got their shells are too big. They got white shoulders. Yeah, things will get caught in places. Whereas like Power Rangers, I guess their shoulder pads is like the biggest thing that they got. Like if they got to jump through like a hoop or some shit, that's where they're gonna have trouble.
Yeah, totally. I will say, if it's about which one is more fun to watch, the Power Rangers are gonna be like great gymnasts where you're like, oh, you're just great. But to watch a turtle duck something swinging and have its head go in its shell, I'll watch that
A
shit.
lot
all
more
day long.
entertaining. Yeah. Definitely a lot more entertaining.
Totally.
And you know, pizza's gonna come in at some point.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
Comes back out of the shell with a slice.
He's just eating.
Yeah, that's who I'd hang out with more too. Definitely.
Oh, absolutely.
They're definitely stoners for sure.
They're definitely
Have to be.
stoners.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think Master Splinter was smoking? You know what I
He
mean?
did have a pipe.
Did have a pipe. People forget, like,
Smoking that
I saw
hash,
that
bro.
there was this meme. It was about the Lord of the Rings, and it was about how Merry and Pippin basically the only reason they went on the whole journey was because fucking what's his name, the wizard. He had fucking weed in his pipe. Yeah, Gandalf had fucking like that good shit in his fucking pipe on him all the time. So that was the only reason they joined the whole fucking, you know, like imagine going to meet the wizard. That's what I think that what the joke was like. Going to meet the wizard because they knew he had weed on him. So and then they had to go fucking destroy some ring.
Yeah.
Talk about a mission.
That's amazing.
Travel the continent.
You also make me think about how he rode up on a white stallion everywhere he went. So like, if we were to take that into like Cadillac territory, and he's coming through the village with some fire.
Yeah, Cadillac and fireweed. Oh yeah, yeah.
Gandalf the plug.
Yeah.
Gandalf
Also,
the
fuck
plug.
Merry and Pippin.
Yeah.
It's a toxic friends, man.
Yeah.
They ruin everything. Cut them out of your life. Bless you.
Thank you.
Cut them out of your life. Have you seen Lord of the Rings? I just watched it for the first time recently.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I'd never seen it until like a handful of like months ago.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
So
Watch it.
good.
Do you watch The Hobbit too?
I was warned not to.
You can skip them.
All right, bet.
You can skip.
But fuck those two.
Whoa! The producer's not happy with what we just said.
They're a good time.
It's a wonderful way to waste 9 hours.
Yeah.
What a wonderful way to waste 9 hours. Yeah.
Frank, who's the most famous person you've ever had to kick out?
A famous
At the
person
store.
I've ever had to kick out at the store. We had to kick out. You remember Mayhem Miller?
Yeah. Dude's a mess.
Who's that? Is that a comic
He's
or?
a UFC fighter.
Oh, Jesus Christ! You had to kick him out, huh?
Yeah, he was going through some stuff at the time. But I remember, like, we didn't like have to kick him out. He actually left on his own accord. But it was definitely one of those things where, like, the security guard was like, "What do you want me to do?" He was like, "We can ask him, but unless he wants to leave, there's nothing we can all do in this situation." I remember he like jumped up on my friend Rene, and Rene's like 4'3". Just the sweetest kid, like just a fucking doofus. Like he would just sit there talking to someone, and like Mayhem Miller just gets him in a full-on headlock, right, and just starts fucking with him, and then just like lets go of him. Renee turns around and is like, "What the fuck was that?" And just goes, and then Mayhem's just like, and then Renee's like, "All right, cool." And then like Mayhem Miller walks away, and Renee was like, "What the fuck was that?" And I was like, "You don't realize how a bear just hugged you, and you're alive. Like, you're like, just take it or leave it." Also, fucking Rene Lancaster. I love him to death. He likes to get drunk and just kind of make a fool of himself. One time at the store, I think it was one of the Diaz brothers.
Oh, jeez.
One of the Diaz
Okay.
brothers was there, right? And Renee's like on the front patio, like hitting on a chick. And the chick's like, "You realize that's my husband, right?" And points to one of the Diaz brothers. And Renee just goes, "Yeah, so what?" It He goes, and? Completely fucking just drunk. And like, bro, I can't remember which Diaz brother it was, just looks at him and just kind of like laughs. Like, just like, they all like full on just laughed.
Yeah.
Because it was fucking hilarious and absolutely ridiculous that he would just even do or say that. And like, nothing happened. And thank God. But it was just such a, like, dude, there's so many stories of Rene doing like ridiculous shit like that. And also just the way he looks. Like, he was just like, yeah, this is like, what am I going to do? Fucking murder this kid? Like, it was hilarious, dude. And
Damn.
oh, God, I can't remember I don't know what that brought that up, but that's so funny.
Question.
Oh, yeah, what was the question?
You know, the show we're on full.
Quick. All right, so that was one. That was another one. Who else do we have to kick out?
Have you ever been swung on?
The biggest fight I ever saw at the store was in the room that I was watching. The guy never swung on me, but he was like, I watched him like have the decision of like, am I going to swing on him? And I was just kind of like, I remember we both looked at each other. I was just kind of like, hey man, you don't want to fight.
Yeah.
Because everyone's around us is fist fighting. And I was like, the cops are coming. You should get your guy and get him off and like fucking take him out of here.
Yeah.
And then I like watched him just kind of look at me and like think about it. And I was like, are you gonna hit me? Like, what's gonna happen? And then he didn't hit me. And after that, I was kind of like, oh, okay. There's like this weird thing of like, if you like talk to people like rationally, especially in high stress situations like that. Like, I remember talking to a guy and being like, hey, you know, you gotta kind of keep it down, Bob. And he was like, fuck you. And I was like, all right, man. They're just gonna kick you out. And he was like, what are you gonna do about it? I was like, I'm not gonna do anything. I was like, look at me. I was like, but that guy's gonna come and kick you out. And it was the big security guy. And I was like, I'm just the dumb guy they tell you to be quiet.
You're like warning one.
Yeah, I'm the fucking sweet, adorable warning guy. You know? And they were just like, oh, okay. And then once they see the security guards, they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
They kind of realize you're just the face. Although I have definitely not made the situation better. Luke Schwartz was classic for shit like that.
Yeah, he's a stir-er-up-er.
Oh man, he posted about it. They had to kick out this guy, and he was like, he goes, hey man, we're gonna have to kick you out. And he goes, you're acting kind of childish. And he goes, he's like, well, I fight and train in MMA. Is that childish? And then Luke goes, well, you're dancing around in your underwear. It's pretty childish if you think about it. And that guy apparently did not think it was funny at all. And it became a very not cool situation after that.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
Luke is hilarious.
Some people do not like it. Some people like love to, especially now after the pandemic, people love to challenge just people working.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then there's like, they get surprised, especially at clubs when you give it back to them. And you're just like, yeah, man, we're all comics. We all work minimum wage. We all don't want to fucking be here. Like, yeah, that's it.
I'm going to eviscerate you.
Yeah. Have you, I feel like the improv's a little bit different. It's a little more corporate.
It is corporate. I've almost gotten swung on once. Same thing with like a face, like you could see him matrix the choices and figure out to just leave. That's definitely happened. But the first time I ever got punched was during like a high school fight club in somebody's front yard, like on the driveway. We just threw on some gloves and beat the shit out of each other and challenged each other. And man, I loved punching somebody, but like I've never felt more alive than like getting punched and then also hitting someone in the side of the head as hard as I can.
Yeah, it's a pretty good feeling.
It's pretty fucking great.
Yeah.
Like anyone who hasn't tried it, like I kind of recommend getting punched.
Everyone needs to get punched in the face at least once.
Yeah.
Everyone, you can definitely tell the people who've never been punched in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most starting all of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or the guy who's been punched in the face a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Who's still like,
I love her. And you're like, oh shit. And then it's Mayhem Miller.
That's the end of round one.
All right, sweet. Oh shit, that's the end of round one?
Round two.
This one's dope. This is going to be some Tropicana Skittles. So they took Tropicana cookies and then Skittles and then washed those strains together. It's going to be a lot of that orange, kind of tangy up front from the Tropicana. But then it's going to have that kind of sweet orange, like Skittles flavor, like candy. This one, when I smelt it, it had a very almost like a orange, like chalky-like smell, like a orange Pez does.
all right.
So that should translate quite a bit into the flavor, actually. But yeah, on the exhale, you should taste a lot of that very sweet, like Skittles candy flavor.
Yo, the back end is crazy.
Yeah.
You're not lying.
Yeah. Skittles is one of my favorite like
That's crazy.
strains like altogether. It was the first strain I ever like had pressed into rosin. Like one of my favorites. Like it's stellar.
Wow.
Yeah, and just all like candy terps.
This is summer as fuck.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Or as heck. I don't know. That is like a summertime strain right there.
And it's got a little bit of like the orange cookies has a little bit of like kind of uplifting euphoria from like a sativa, but then it really is carved by a bunch of that Skittles and then the Girl Scout cookies
I
as
feel
well.
like I'm tasting a fruity beer.
Yeah.
It's almost like that's what the inspiration for all those 450 Norths,
Yeah.
all those like sours and everything.
That's the best testament. That's the one thing I love about weed. If you cough real hard, that is like a testament to how great it like is hitting you. I think that's a cool little twist.
Or like how much you have Corona.
yeah, that's also it.
Mike, what's the worst food experience you've ever had at a critically acclaimed place?
Oh,
Burning bridges, dog.
so I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, and I was back for Christmas, and we went to it was a fancy 4-star hotel, like a Ritz-Carlton for Christmas Eve dinner, because none of us wanted to cook. We wanted to do something special. I was only in town for a short amount of time, and it was the worst meal I've ever had in my fucking life. The risotto, we've lifted the plate and turned it like this, and there was no movement, and it just stuck, and it was undercooked rice. The courses all came out wrong. There was a hair in my mom's like sweet potato soup and some shit, and we just brought the GM over and said, look at all of this, and they just didn't say anything and walked away, and the whole it was a nightmare, man. It was a Christmas Eve nightmare.
Yeah, man, I'm leaving too at that point.
Yeah.
I'm gone.
Right? Just get Hardee's or Carl's Jr. out here, whatever you call it. It was brutal. The best meal I've ever had there was a couple, but that's not what the question was.
I do want to hear it though. What was probably like your life? You've had one that you like look back on.
Providence here in LA, 3 Michelin star. Michael, I can't remember his last name. It starts with an M, but it's like a Japanese seafood influenced tasting menu, and they have a very special occasion, almost like booth with a glass window into the kitchen to see everything happening while you're getting coursed out. And it was like a strip of steak, a piece of asparagus, and a splash of a sauce. And you're just like, what the fuck? This is crazy good.
That's great.
One piece of asparagus, you're going to flex and be like, it's perfect. Eat it.
Yeah.
So
Send this
cool.
shit back. I dare you.
Yeah, right. What are you going to do? Fuck
yeah.
you. That was
Hell yeah.
unreal, man.
Have you seen Pig yet?
Nicky Cage? No. How is it?
Dude, now that I realize how into cooking you are,
Oh, yeah.
you're going to love it.
Really?
Yeah.
Because he's a chef, right? He goes back
I'm
to
not
his
gonna.
old stomping grounds?
I'm not gonna.
Okay.
It's the best way I could describe it. I don't want to give away anything. It's just. It's unlike anything It's not what you're expecting, and the world that they create in food and is like hysterical and
wait.
badass in a completely unintentional way.
I can't fucking wait.
Yeah, it
I
is
will watch
like-
it tonight.
Yeah.
Fucking let's go.
Hell yeah.
So I know, we don't really know each other that well, but I can tell you my food background since you were sharing yours. Is I was on Worst Cooks in America on Food Network because my girlfriend at the time auditioned me for it because I was ruining every fucking meal, and she was sick of it. And she was like, "Get this dude on TV." And I got 3rd place on Worst Cooks in America. I was really mad that I didn't get first. I should have gotten first. And so I took the stipend from every single day of Worst Cooks and put it into culinary school here in LA, because I was like, fuck y'all, I'm gonna take that money you just gave me and get better at this. And so on the weekends, I graduated from New School of Cooking in Pasadena and took that, and somebody recommended me as an improviser and cook behind the scenes on a Gordon Ramsay show. So I went from Worst Cooks to using their money to pay for culinary school to cooking for Gordon Ramsay on TV.
That's so sick.
And it was the fucking jam, dude. He's a real one. And I'm making perfect, I'm line cooking while improvising, and it's just perfect filet mignons, chopping it up with him and learning from him. It was so rad.
That's fucking cool.
I feel like he's a funny guy.
Yo, he's funny.
He's
as
actually
fuck.
fucking funny.
Yeah. Shout out to him. Shout out to his assistant, Justin. And the thing about him, too, was shows up, runs everything once, and everyone's out early so that they can go home to their families. He runs a tight ship, but a kind ship on that set. And that was cool to learn about, too. Yeah. You know, he treats it like his kitchens.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see how people run shows and especially when it's someone who's not originally in TV.
Yeah.
They come from the outside and they're like, oh, I could do my version of this TV shit better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he seems like he was like, oh yeah, I kill it in the kitchen. I could take this and just fucking make this shit easy.
Fuck yeah. Do you want to be a showrunner?
Do I want to be a showrunner? Absolutely fucking not.
What are you talking about, man? I'm almost going to Michelangelo over here and go in my show.
I mean, I like how I'm like, do I want to be a showrunner? I'm like, absolutely not. And then there's... Yeah, I'll figure it out. Do I want a sitcom? Yeah, I would love to like sit down and write my own sitcom, but it would have to be one of those things like, you know, I've gone and pitched things, and I've like just in pitch meetings, when people are like, well, what if you did? I'm like, fuck you, get out of it, just leave me. I don't want you involved at all. Because I've had plenty of meetings where I've been involved with people who were like, the first sign of trouble, they're like out. You know what I mean? Or like people who like don't know how to like keep the ball moving or like figure it. Like I feel like the only way that I'd want to be comfortable enough writing my own sitcom is like finding the people I like that I know I could trust, and then being like, all right, let's fucking do this together, and then nailing it, and then being a showrunner. It would be, but like handpicking my own team and not having a network or anyone behind me. I'd have to do it myself because I hate notes. I hate fucking, you know.
And you have your circle.
That was the thing with this show is like trying. So I mean, he's at the beginning is like trying to describe what it is you want to do and what the show is. And people are like, blah, and then you have to literally show them. You have to do it and then show them. And then they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll give you money for this. And then also to try to show them the next project. And they're like, well, we don't understand it. It was like, well, you didn't understand the first thing I was trying to fucking do. So how about you just fucking trust me? You know?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, okay. So I think I'd rather go through it my own way and then do it. Although it's a much longer, arduous process. It just ultimately, I think in the end, it makes me feel better about the way I'm doing it.
Damn, that was a good answer.
Was that a good answer? I felt like it was very like long and.
That was a good answer.
Oh, okay.
I mean, unless you're looking to BuzzFeed this fucking
Facebook clips.
But yeah, no, eventually.
Yeah.
Frank, they just created the Poor People Olympics. What are some of the events?
Whoever can budget the most out of a $20 bill. You know what I mean? like who could get the most out of a 20? I told my wife this once I started making money. I was like, I feel more comfortable with $100 than I do with like $10,000.
Yeah.
I was like, cause I don't know what to do with like. I was like, hey, just having like when after roast battle when that was the most money I ever had, I was like, I felt uncomfortable because it was just like this is all gonna go away at some point.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Buying an airplane ticket is nerve-wracking.
when you used to be poor, yeah. You're like,
like you just hover that
do I
fucking
really
mouse?
need to get so much money? Even though you know you're gonna get it back because of the thing, you're like, but it's just yeah.
Real talk.
I tried to explain that to like my parents who like me and my parents were poor my whole life. Just trying to explain like stuff to them that I'm buying or like, you know, giving them money for something. Especially when it comes to like weed and stuff, and like they're just like, how do you have this? I was like, well, I have a job now.
Yeah.
That pays me like a little bit better than normally. Yeah. And they're just kind of like, well, all right. And I'm like, yeah, man, I don't have your kind of job.
Right.
Where it's like one set thing all of the time, continuously, Yeah. They just can't like fathom it.
Yeah. It's wild because the generations after ours, like everyone who's like being born at TikTok time, I feel like that's going to be like, wait, you don't make money through TikTok? What are you going to do with your life?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, this future generations will be like, what are you talking about? I mean, $100. I just showed my tits on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Why would I do all these?
And those
other
are just
things?
the fat dudes. You know?
Yeah. That's funny. It's funny.
What about you, Mike? You got any event ideas for the Poor People Olympics?
Well, now I'm just thinking about OnlyFans
Yeah.
because I love it. Poor People Olympics, hanging on. I feel like rich people would be running the Poor People Olympics, right? So it would probably be some bullshit like bootstrap height, some shit like that. Like how high can you pull them and how tight with some pressure gauge inside the Tim? Like some bullshit like that.
Frank, what's your go-to meal to impress your date on a first date?
My go-to meal to impress my date on a first date. Am I cooking?
Yes. Definitely.
My wife is laughing hysterically right now. I think I've cooked her 3-4 meals in our whole relationship because I'm
All came from
not a
HelloFresh.
good cook. No. No, 2 of them were like, I'm a cook. And then like, I remember one time I made her spaghetti and she just laughed at me. And then one time I made her, I was like, this is something my dad used to make me. And it was literally like tortilla, cheese. It's called chilaquiles. Do you know what that is? It's like tortillas, cheese, and like salsa and shit. And I made it for her and she just hugged me. And she was just like, I didn't realize how poor you were growing up. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? She was like, this is like a $3 meal. And I was like, oh yeah. That makes sense.
Chilaquiles is so good, bro.
So good.
You don't realize how poor you are though. And then what else?
Dude, a sloppy chip. Come on, man.
Sloppy chip, dog.
So
I'm a big nacho fan, for sure.
Yeah. I would cook. I like a one skillet. Like I'm cast iron heavy in my cooking all fucking day. My favorite that I've done is you take chicken thighs and you brown the skin side, let it render out, flip them, and then add like fennel and baby potatoes and let the whole thing cook and then slap it in the oven so that with all the fat and it all just cooks through in the potatoes. And then you add sambal and a couple of other things. So it's like spicy and sweet and chickeny and licoricey and crispy and fatty.
That was fire.
And and then you just boss it by putting the whole skillet in the middle of the table to like go to town from. Yeah. So good.
Dinner.
Yeah. Thank you for that ever.
Yeah, man. We just gotta get stoned and start cooking some shit.
Let's go.
A stoner cooking show?
Yeah.
Say less.
Have they come up with that yet?
I'm sure there's a few. There's been a few
I don't know.
attempts.
I think we're really onto something here. I feel like we're pioneers, as they say.
And that's the end of round 2.
They have a lot, is what I'm saying. Final round, dog.
Hell yeah. This one's going to be the Jelly Bomb. It's a Jelly Rancher and THC bomb. The Jelly Rancher is a very cherry and notorious THC. And then the THC bomb is kind of a legacy strain. For this one, you're going to taste a lot of the OG kind of up front like you did with the first one, a lot of that kind of pine. But the very cherry in the Jelly Rancher, as you kind of exhale, leaves this almost like a lemon, but it has a sweet funk to it, almost like a stone fruit. At the end of that, but that one like it literally comes like at the very end of the exhale almost. It's very interesting where it's like I said, a lot of that kind of like plant matter and pine, and then it has like a fruitiness that kind of comes out.
Yeah, that beginning of it fills your mouth.
Yeah, and I think it's that lemon cushion there in the Jelly Rancher.
I would absolutely watch a show where you describe it and I understand it.
Yeah. Coming to ABC this fall. JP and Frank. Oh, I can tell you this, and you might actually feel my pain. I got, you probably got this audition too. I wouldn't be surprised if you got this job.
Cannabis TV?
Was it the co-host for the weed show?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get it?
No.
Me neither.
I didn't get it, and I was actually bummed.
Me too.
Yeah.
I sent in for it, and they what they told my manager was they wanted someone less experienced in the weed industry. My manager literally called me and was like, that is the first time I've ever heard them say anything like that in the history of me being in this job, that I wanted someone less experienced in the thing. And I was like, that's hysterical.
That's pretty nuts.
Wow. I don't even know what to say because I still want the job.
Me too, right? I'm sure it'll be great for whoever it gets it, you know, because I'm sure I'll definitely be at some point writing for them. You know how many people message me being like, hey man, I need some advice and some help on this gig. And I was like, that's hilarious that everyone reached out to me about it.
Yeah.
Like, that's so funny.
Yeah, insane. But yeah, I don't know.
I hope
we're doing
it.
all right.
Yeah.
We're making it work.
Yeah. You're like, I'm trying to protect this job, so move on. No.
8/7 Central, we start next Wednesday. You can check it out at.
It is called Blasted.
I'm wearing a shirt underneath.
Beaked.
Frank, you meet the first alien to come to the planet. She's super hot and into you. You gonna smash?
I think you have to, as a
For
human,
science?
Well, one, for science, into human relations, right? Because you also want to get off on a good foot with these aliens, and you know what I mean. I feel like that is probably the only situation where you could go up to your significant other and be like, "What was I supposed to do?"
Yeah,
it was to further the human race.
I also love your smash confidence that you know you're gonna crush it for the rest of humanity.
But also, well, absolutely, you're gonna crush it because no matter what, if they probably just think that's how humans fuck, you know what I mean? So you're either gonna like set the standard, regardless if it's good or bad, you know what I mean? And then that way, it's like that alien, non-gender, will be able to, they wouldn't be able to tell until they fuck someone else.
Fucking brilliant, man. So brilliant.
See that guy over there? Homeboy fucked a Martian.
And our cultures were together forever. People got flying, hovering cars and be like, "Hey, you remember who got you this shit? You're going to LA to New York in under an hour. Don't you ever take my name in vain."
No way. They have to drive through the legs of your statue to get there, man. Fucking yes.
Mike, Panda Express is dropping their Jewel Pod.
What's up?
Panda Express is dropping their first Jewel Pod. What flavor is it going to be?
Dude, that's such a setup. It's such a because everyone's going to expect orange chicken, and that's the first thing that came to my mind. But there's got to be something out there that it wouldn't be.
The sweet fire chicken's pretty good.
Their sweet fire chicken is really good.
They got the fried wontons.
Yeah. You know what? I would take a fucking cream cheese middle Rangoon style flavor. That would be delicious.
I think that's one of the only ones you could do it with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe the beef and broccoli.
No, you want beef?
Yeah, you're right.
Beef broccoli fart mouth?
Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah,
you want to hit this? Yeah. Oh, broccoli, and then it tastes like broccoli? No way, dude.
Honey walnut.
There you go. The shrimp honey walnut shrimp. That's definitely it. Yeah.
I don't know that shrimp. You know, I don't know if people want vaporized shrimp.
You don't like mayonnaise shrimp?
Just honey walnut. That's shrimp. Just honey walnut.
I feel like the Panda Express part is the shrimp, though, right? Okay. Am I wrong? I don't know.
Yeah, what are we fucking vaping? Fucking what's
honey walnut would be delicious.
Hoity-toity grocery store?
I bet you they have
fresh,
a honey walnut.
Whatever the fuck. Ah, goddamn! I fucked up. I kept reaching. This conversation kept going. I was like, "No, Gerard, I'm still gonna get you." He just watched it all just wither away.
That will be tight when in the weed game when we get to free sample weed, like once hopefully like COVID and everything settles out. Because my favorite part of going to the mall food court was like sampling Sbarro, sampling some Panda Express. So if you could sample some Panda Express vape, that would be fire.
That'd be it.
No, I think they're gonna shut it down again, and that's how we're gonna be for the next lifetime. No, I'm just kidding.
And that's the. No, I'm just kidding.
Then we out. Man, yeah, probably.
Someone called the Comedy Store fascist the other day on the comments, and I could not stop laughing. It was pretty great because they were giving away. They're like, if you get a vaccine, blah blah, we'll give you 2 free tickets.
Oh wow!
Just trying to help out and stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
So the comments when they post like the lineups, there's like 4 or 5, right? But anytime they post about COVID, thousands,
interaction, baby,
hundreds of comments.
Damn.
And it's the funniest shit because it's all like people who don't go there, people who never really were going to go there in the first place, and then like comics who don't get up there but feel a very certain way about COVID. And it's also like, listen, I'm not going to like shame anybody, blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm vaccinated, I don't give a fuck. But it's just so funny to see so many people so upset at a building trying to stay in business.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm just like, it just makes you laugh. Because I know all the people that work there, they all lost their jobs at some point. So I'm just like, yeah, man, I get it. They got to fucking stay in business.
Yeah.
But people are like legit upset about it. It's just a thing that makes me laugh so fucking hard.
Damn. Oh, man. Fuck everybody.
Yeah. You know what? Put us all back in our rooms.
Put us in our rooms.
We need another year and just fucking simmer off.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm better for it, but it is what it is.
Oh, no, yeah.
It was a long year.
I started hitting my pillows.
Just beating up your pillows?
Just beat. My wife will walk in, she's like, are you fighting our pillows? I'm like, fuck these damn pillows.
Frank, Professor Oak is opening his own smokehouse. Which Pokemon barbecue tastes the best?
I'm going to say some shit that people are probably not going to like.
Oh, man. Okay.
I feel like Pidgeotto, solid. You don't think so?
Pigeons?
Pidgeotto.
Yeah, but pigeon.
People eat squab.
It's not a pigeon. It's a Pokemon. It's a bird flying type Pokemon. It's not
Birds
a
are
real
real.
pigeon. You know what I mean? Just like how sparrow's not a real sparrow.
Fucking Rattata, dude.
I mean, Pikachu's probably fucking delicious.
You could reverse sear Pikachu.
Yeah. Squirrel's probably fucking good too. Wait, does Bulbasaur count as a vegan dish?
Yes. Yes.
Snorlax probably feeds
So
everybody.
That's your Wagyu
It'd
right
be like,
there.
Oh yeah.
he just sits and drinks beer all day.
But also Snorlaxes would go extinct immediately if it were any kind of delicacy because they're so easy to find. You know what I mean? They're not hard to kill.
Yeah.
You know?
What's the one that mutates into all the others? It starts
Ditto?
with a D.
Ditto.
Ditto.
Yeah, there you
I feel like
Ditto
how you
would be
can tell how
delicious.
old we are because we're only sticking to the 150.
From the original?
Oh yeah, I didn't even go
There's
to the
like
polls.
thousands now.
Oh yeah,
It's
no,
ridiculous.
I did like Pikachu the Detective. That was a good movie, but yeah.
I cried in Detective Pikachu.
Ditto I think would be good because he's rare and delicious. I'm so sorry to wax over your open-heartedness. I'm so sorry, Frank.
That was an appropriate move, though.
I was like, man, he's going to talk about his feelings?
Oh,
Why'd you cry?
because you're just like, oh yeah, no shit. Of course, Ryan Reynolds gonna have a black half black son. You know, because that's the whole thing. You're just like, that's Ryan Reynolds' voice. Then you're like, oh yeah, did I just ruin Detective Pikachu for everybody?
I never seen it, but I did not listen to what you were saying.
You find out it is his father.
Oh, what the
It's
fuck?
beautiful.
Save me
It's
$12.99.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's a touching moment. That's how I know I have some fucking deep traumatic shit I got to work through. Because anything like father, son, like anything like that, I cry immediately. It is anything fucking parents and kid shit. I'm just like, oh, a parent that cares about their kids. Yeah, Taken, I cry every time.
Yeah.
All 3 movies. I'm really hot.
And that's the end of round 3.
Wow.
What about making carnitas on a slowpoke, dude?
Yo.
I'm so high right now.
Frank.
Yeah. Oh, we're still recording? Oh, I didn't know it was still. It was still on me. No. Yeah. All right. Cool. Had you have fun, Mike?
Dude, this is the best. I would do this forever.
Yeah, we
Forever.
are. We actually haven't even started recording yet. Anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
Sure. Weed and Grub is my podcast with Mary Jane Gibson. If y'all can come on when we start it up again, that would be a dream come true. And Instagram, we're on Instagram. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I'll shout out, when is this going to come out?
Wednesday, I think. Not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday.
I'll shout out the Nightfall group who are the plug for this Airbnb.
Hell yeah.
So that's it. Thanks for letting me plug shit. This has been a dream.
Dude,
Yeah, man.
my
It's
pleasure.
fun as
Thank you.
fuck.
Thank you, JP. Thank you, Mike.
Rob.
Thank you, Gerardo. Thank you, PUFFCO. Thank you, Punch. Have a good night, guys. Yeah, I'm high shit. What? What did I do?
Plug it in.
What did
Good
I?
catch.
You're good. You're good.
Did it? Was it in?
Yeah, but it cut out at the end when you said thank you for having me.
Oh, okay. Hey, thank you so much for having us. Thank you so much for we run a tight ship. Thank you so much for having us. Have a good night, guys.